evening. Welcome back to the Laboratory of Mayhem. Last video we talked about body types and what you can use to flesh out your collection. This is going to be an addendum to that in some respects. I got a question from a viewer about how to do a body swap and choosing the right body. So it would seem rather straightforward, but there's a lot that can go into this and a lot that can go wrong. The main thing that you want to look at when you're swapping out a body, check out the style of the head. This has a sculpted neck. This is a Tom Cruise head that came with a Hot Toys blank body many years ago. This is a Sideshow body with the sculpted neck. This is a copy of a Hot Toys body. This is a Hot Toys body with no neck sculpted on it. This is also a Hot Toys head with no neck sculpted on it. How you attach this is very important. These heads, if you're getting the typical kind of body, like I use this a lot with, I do a lot of work doing commissions for people. I sort of got well known for making action figures for YouTube content creators and making them their own action figures. And so as a result, I've gotten many people reaching out to me and say, hey, can you do this for me? I try to keep my costs as low and affordable as possible because this hobby can get away from you very quickly. The prices of Hot Toys figures are, for many of them now, are over $300. They're collectibles. They're not toys. They're not dolls. I guess you could say they're collectible figures, but they're not really things that you would play with. Now, when you look at these things, you have to look at the way that the head attaches. When you're looking for a body swap, there's a couple of things that you want to keep in mind with this. The height, the overall height of the figure. If you want this character to be taller than average, and you're going to be populating your scene with figures of a smaller stature, keep that in mind. If you're going to have exposed flesh, these things here, there's a lot of exposed joints on this, which tends to take away the aesthetic of the figure. If you're looking for something that's got say a seamless body, you can do the TV League body with a silicone overlay on it, fully posable with a uh, um, stainless steel skeleton underneath. Very tough, expensive though. If you don't need that for your display, why go to the added expense? If you're looking for something, if your figure, the character that you have, has a sculpted neck, you cannot use this body that has a sculpted neck on it already. You have to go with one of these guys. If you have this body, this can accommodate either kind. You will get with the body, you'll get an attachment like this detachable neck that fits on top here, like so. You push it down and it'll snap into place. This is pretty easy. I would highly recommend, if you're going to be changing heads, necks, wrists, or feet, heat up the product. 2 minutes with a hair dryer, 30 seconds in boiling water. Do not burn yourself. It seems strange to have to say this, but when you heat things up, they get hot and it can burn you. Try not to do that. Have some gloves, have a towel that you can work these on and off with. If you find that this is the body that you want. This is the replacement that you're going to go with. Try not to adjust things too much. This here, if I'm going for this style of head, but I've got a sculpted neck, there are a couple things you want to see. Like on the inside of this is a little ring. I'm going to use the other camera in a minute here to show you in better detail, and that way you don't have to try and squint with this. But it fits on this one. On this reproduction of a Hot Toys head, was a scanned 3D printed head. This will not fit inside of it. There's some shrinkage that goes on in here, and it doesn't quite fit. So you want to make sure that if you get this one, you're going to have to be a little bit creative and put it in here. Another thing you want to look at, when I take this here, I'm going to break my rule here because I think I should be pretty good getting this off. There we go. Without heating it. There are two different types of, we'll say, non-sculpted neck adapters. This is the one that comes with the bodies. Okay, you can pick these up relatively cheap for probably under $20. If you're going for a U.S. sourced one, you're probably going to pay a couple dollars more. But you can get this with expedited shipping, and it'll probably cost you about $22, $23 to your house. If you go overseas to China, you can get it with a slower delivery. It'll take about 3 weeks, but you will get it a little bit cheaper. If you want to save $5, you order it that way. If it doesn't, if time is more pressing to you, then you just order from a U.S. seller. This attaches here. Now, this attachment that comes with it tends to put the head up a little bit higher. So this would sit here. What I prefer when I'm doing a figure that has a sculpted neck, I get these adapters here. They're a soft rubber, and they actually sit a little bit deeper on the body, so that it's less giraffe neck that you're getting. I put this on here. Now look, he's as tall as the actual Tom Cruise. Sorry, Tom, just kidding. But it looks a lot better because it sits lower. The other one, you can actually see a little bit of a gap in there. It's a little bit irritating to me, but that's just me. Okay, I'm going to switch cameras here, and you can check out the details of this. We're going to look at some of the female attachments as well. Okay, here we go, looking at some of this stuff in greater detail. This is the sculpted neck head. You can see this. Let me see if there's something I can point to it. Little piece of metal here. This will work. Okay. You see this here. This ring here is this guy. And if you look on this right here, there's a slight rim on the inside. Now this pushes through, and it will hold in place while it's inside the head on this little attachment here. Now, if you use this adapter, you can see this little rim on the bottom. It sits a little bit higher. This is actually a little insert that goes inside this harder plastic part. This is a softer plastic. You heat it up, this will pop out, and you'll have to stick it back in there if you want to use it. This is one piece softer urethane rubber. This is the one that sits in deeper into the neck, so it gives you a little bit of a deeper sitting on it. You can kind of see the size difference between the two. I prefer this one. It's going to add to your cost a little bit, but not a whole lot. This is the neck adapter. You see the inserts here on either side. The smaller ball goes into the neck. The larger ball will go into the adapter. This one here, you can see the adapter is already set inside of it. With all these, you'll have to heat them up to put this on. This one does not have the adapter inside, and you can kind of see how deep it goes in there. If I can get in there without the shadow. A lot of bright light in here to try and give you an idea about this. Here is the neck adapter that fits on the end of the neck peg. Whoops. Good catch. It goes here. And again, this is pretty soft, but you would want to heat it up so it slides on a little bit easier. And you heat everything up, heat the inside of the head a little bit, heat this up, and then you can slide it in there. Then if you have to get it out, that's, again, you're going to have to heat it up, and it becomes a little bit of a chore, but you will definitely have less chance of breaking something when you do that. This is a Sideshow head. You can see the difference in the Sideshow head compared to the Hot Toys. Now this is a very old Tom Cruise head here. Hot Toys has come so far with their head sculpts. You can kind of see the difference here, just in the Jeremy Renner compared to the Tom Cruise. This the scale's a little bit better. The Jeremy Renner, it's like, most of these heads are a little bit too large, but they've come a long way and really refined the genre, I guess you would call it. Also, you see this here now. Where's my little ring? I'm going to put my ring. There's the ring. Okay. This will not fit on the inside here. Okay. So if you put this in, see, it's very loose. You're going to have to put some hot glue in there and try not to move it very much because it will pop out. It's just inevitable. Like Thanos. Now, this is the copy. Is a 3D printed copy of Luke Skywalker. You can see the size difference between here, and this ring will also not fit in here. Again, you would have to put a little hot glue in there to get that on there to fit it, get it to sit and go in there. We do want to talk a little bit about the ladies. Okay. It's time to discuss the females. Okay, this is the standard Hot Toys head. This came with the female True Type, sort of a generic female head sculpt. Now, I looked around. I don't have another female head that I could show you with, but it's there's sort of a cutaway on this. You can see how the wig attaches. Now, the thing that you have to remember with this is you can see on these two, they're very different. Okay, so they look very similar, but look, the amount of indentation here. This is supposed to go behind this little rim here and really fit in deeply inside that. And these will not all be the same. These will be very different according to the wig style. Some of these are Hot Toys, some of these are Kumik. Similar head style and shape, but there are some differences with it that you'll find. But you see how they're different as you put them on. This is a red-headed wig, and they want to fit on there. Now they usually come with a little blue adhesive that you kind of knead up a little bit and you put inside there, and it'll adhere to it. Most of the time, if it's going to be a head sculpt that I'm going to keep in place, I'll just use hot glue. You can see this one here. This actually goes in like that. You can see the difference, how this is just sort of a flat rim, and this actually has a bit of a grip. It would have to come in inside the head a little bit. So you want to keep that in mind if you're looking to do a wig swap on a female head sculpt. So just some pointers that I hope will help you out if you're in the market for something like this. When you're doing a body swap, make sure that you're checking out your heights, checking out your the neck type, the neck adapter type. Very, very important. Make sure that you're heating up the accessories before you put them in. That'll be a huge factor for you. It's very easy to mess these things up and snap something if you're not heating it properly and getting it set in where it belongs. But that's about it for the male and the female details. And good luck with your body swapping. If you have any further questions that I hope I can help you with, please feel free to ask me. And if you've got any suggestions on something else I might be able to offer some insight to, I'd be happy to respond to you. Thanks for watching.